Hey, g'day. I finally made it for this live broadcast today. I've been running around doing all sorts of stuff, which is good. It's good to be busy and all that business. But I've finally made it to getting around to doing this. So, how are you guys? I hope you're really well and everything is going great in your world. Welcome to my secret world, episode 5. Bam! That's 5 weeks now. I'm really enjoying doing these little live broadcasts. It's great talking to all you guys and just telling you what I'm doing, what's working, what's not, what I'm trying to do, and trying to get you guys involved as much as I can. And please leave as many comments as you wish and share it around as well. Would be awesome. All right, so number 5. Okay. First things first, T-shirt of the day. You all recognize this one. The best label in the world, best record label ever. Well, it was certainly the most influential record label that I got. It was the first record label I suppose I got into when I started playing the Hammond, especially because of Booker T and the MGs and that Stax band. What a band it was. And so I was lucky to visit Memphis 2015 when we got into the Memphis Blues Challenge. And there's probably a few of you guys musicians out there who have been there for that Blues Challenge, especially a lot of you guys in the US, because it's a very famous blues competition, I guess, and people come from all around the world, all these blues societies around the world. They all hold their little mini competitions, and they pick who they want to send over to Memphis to compete. And 2015, we were lucky enough to be able to go over. And so we went to the Stax Museum and went to Sun Records. And we didn't go to Graceland. That was probably the only sort of iconic place we didn't go to, but we went to a whole bunch of museums, and it was a wonderful experience. But I thought because of this T-shirt, I might tell you kind of how it went down for me, because it was, I guess the actual competition side of it was less than ideal. Hammond players will relate to this one extremely well. So here I was thinking, Memphis Blues Challenge. This is going to be so professional. This is just going to be schmick. Everything's going to be running perfectly. It's going to be so organized. The venue's going to be amazing. The PAs, the sound people are going to be crazy. Good. That's what I was thinking. And so a few weeks out, we sort of find out where we're going to be playing, and we're playing at BB King's, which I'm like, this is unreal. This is going to be the best thing ever. I get to play in BB King's. Next thing I find out is, there's a B3 and a Leslie for you there. I'm like, awesome. This is just going to be the best. It's going to be so much fun. Anyway, we finally get over there, and I got in there a couple of days early, and I think the day before we went and checked out the venue just to go and have a bit of a hang and suss it out. And it's a cool venue if you've ever been there, BB King's in Memphis. And there was heaps of people in town as well. It was definitely vibing because of the festival. And the night before there was a band on, like a cover band. I think I pretty much saw cover bands all down the street. And there was a guy playing the organ. It's like a cool sort of blonde B3 Hammond, and it's like, she's got some funny drawbar settings, I was thinking. And he's not really, he's sort of playing sort of very not soft but whistly and very not very thick sounding organ sounds. And I just thought, I guess that's what he's choosing to play, and that's okay. And certainly wasn't the sound that I would normally play. And but I didn't really think too much of it. And then the next day it was the competition day, so we rocked up there, and I think we were on 4th or 5th or something like that. And what I did notice was the organ was, so if you're looking at the stage, the organ was on the right and kind of at the back. And there was no light. There was no light on the organ and the organ player at all. In fact, you could barely see the guy playing it. And I thought, oh, well, that'd be cool. I'm sure we'll be able to get some lights moved, or be able to at least move the organ out to the front, because it's so sort of at the back there and kind of out of the way. And especially because we're just, drums, bass, and organ. And gets to the competition time, and they're just like, no, we can't move the organ. No lights. No, I'm sorry, we can't move the lights. That's just the way they're set. Yeah, we can't help you there. I'm sorry. And, it was just really weird. And then when I finally I just had to bite that. That's, whatever. I've just got to get on stage, and we've only had like 15-minute changeover, and you got penalised if you went on late, stuff like that. So we went on, and then I realised that half of the drawbars on the organ don't work. So if you don't know about organs, basically the organ only half worked, and it wasn't the good half that was working. It was kind of the useless half. And the Leslie wasn't spinning. The bottom of the Leslie wasn't spinning. And it was and I was in the dark, and I was at the back of the stage. And I had to do 2 nights of this, and it was some of the most excruciating gigs I've ever had to play, and especially knowing the amount of money it took to get over there, and the amount of money that people contributed to get us over there. It just felt pretty awful and shit. And after that first gig, I was pretty down, and then I somehow managed to make amends, or not amends, but I managed to just find a way to cope with it, that it was just an amazing experience being over there, and I got to see lots of great bands and that I wouldn't have normally have gotten to see hanging out in Australia. So, it was pretty tough. And there was an incredible band, a keyboard player from the Philippines, amazing honky-tonk keyboard player. I can't remember his name, I'm afraid. But I remember he just brought all his own gear. He hired all his own stuff, and he just set his own stuff up out the front. It was a similar sort of thing, like keyboard, bass, and drums, except he was playing piano, and his piano just sounded awesome. And I was just thinking, man, I've really got to stop listening to people when they, went as far as like gear goes, and just bring my own gear and not leave it to, these officials that say everything is fantastic and everything is great, because it was terrible. It was virtually unplayable. And, when it's just organ, bass, and drums, and the organ is the feature, it kind of makes it a bit tricky. But anyway, there you go. There's another rant for you. But other than that, the best thing about it was getting to hang out with Jan and Byron, and going to all the museums and checking out all that history, and just being able to walk the streets, and and just soak in all that. I guess just that world of where all that incredible music was made. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that rant over. I got to say, we did have an amazing time. It was incredible. Anyway, next. So I'm gonna see who's around here. Yo. Hey, Panos, how are you? Daniel, Glenn, Stefan, Cinny, Alistair, Tatray. Is that how you pronounce your name? Oh, wow, so many comments. This is awesome. All right, I'm back. So, new gig. I'm going back to Canada. Yes. I don't know if any of you guys saw that story that I posted the other day about the hurricane, and only getting to play 2 songs at Kitchener Festival. If you haven't read it, go back. I think it's a post from a couple of days ago. It's pretty funny. And anyway, we're going back to Canada, and we're playing a massive festival in Ottawa, the Ottawa Blues Festival. I think it goes for like 10 days or something. But on our day, hang on, the lineup here: Foo Fighters, Dave Matthews Band, Bryan Adams, Beck, Jethro Tull, War on Drugs, another Australian, Courtney Barnett, St. Paul and the Broken Bones. I'm just reading some of them, and then about 50 more. Hats, Fits and Cara, they're going to be there too. I'm not sure what day they're on, but we are on July 7th. Yeah. So I'm not too familiar with the acts on our day. The person headlining is Shawn Mendes. And there's Kimbra. So she's Australian. Benjamin Booker. And there's a whole bunch. So you can check that out. Just go to ottawabluesfest.ca for that one. Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a bunch more gigs surrounding that, so stay tuned. Where are we? Here we are. Yes. Okay. So this Friday, Australians, Sydney Siders, I'm playing with Mahalia at the Camelot Lounge. The Camelot Lounge, good old Camelot Lounge, where I've done a stack of Lockie Dolly gigs. But this Friday, it's going to be Haya, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of songs from her new record that we recorded about 6 months ago. And it's a bit of a practice for us before we go to the US, because to do Joe Bonamassa's boat cruise, the Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea. So, yeah, basically it's going to be pretty filthy, nasty, and seriously funky. So if you are in Sydney and you are looking for something to do on Friday, that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be playing nothing but whammy clav and maybe a bit of piano. So don't expect any organ, just expect some nasty wah-wah clavinet, and I'll probably use the whammy bar as well. I can't help myself. It's too much fun. Yes, and then the following day, okay, so couple of fundraiser gigs that are coming up, which I'm really excited about. So this Saturday, so after Mahalia's going to fly down to Melbourne, Jackie and I are going to fly down, and we're playing at the Corner Hotel for a Malcolm Young from AC/DC fundraiser. A fundraiser that goes, all the proceeds go to the Dementia Foundation, which is a great cause. I mean, I'm sure probably all of us know someone who has been affected with dementia. My grandpa, I remember just as a kid, him having dementia, and it just getting worse and worse, and eventually he doesn't know who you are, or he thinks that I'm my uncle or something like that. And it was I was so young, so it was just sort of kind of confusing to me. But I still remember how hard it was on, especially my grandma. It was just awful for her. So that's a great cause. Then also after the big gig we had in Adelaide, we've now booked for another great fundraiser, the Childhood Cancer Foundation. We've got a gig at the German Club on April 14. And I don't know if I've ever spoken to any of you guys about this, but yeah, when I was 13, I just got out of the shower at home, had the towel around me, didn't have a shirt on or anything, and Mum was like, "What's that? What's that spot on your back?" And I'm like, "I don't know what that spot is. I'm not looking at my back." And she goes, "There's a little spot, and it's jet black." She said it was absolutely jet black, and then when I finally could see it in the mirror, it was jet black, but it was tiny. It was almost like a pinprick. So we went to the doctor, and they cut it out, and just a bit of anesthetic. They cut it out, sent it away to get tested. Sure enough, it was malignant. It was a cancerous melanoma, and so I had to go back the next day, and then they cut like a really big chunk out of my back. And and I had to wait a couple of weeks, really quite nervously. It was just being 13 and everyone's trying to tell you that, it'll be fine, there's nothing to worry about. And then I'm kind of glad the internet wasn't around then, because I think I would have got myself a lot more scared than I did. Yeah, I mean, the news came back that they had actually, in the first go, they'd managed to get it all out, so it wasn't, there was no cancer in that bigger chunk that they took out. It was just incredible. It was amazing. And then it was also pretty amazing after that, when people would start telling me the truth of how serious it really was. And that, so I always have to get my moles checked every 6 months. I do that. So, and you probably notice that you never ever see me ever without a t-shirt on. I've actually got a six-pack under here and an incredible, body, but you'll never get to see it because I'm too afraid of the sun. No, as if I wish. Anyway, but I do have a serious. I've got some pretty good suntan lines because of it, especially because I missed out on half a winter last year as well. Anyway, so that's a great cause. I'm really looking forward to being part of that, because that definitely means something very personal to me, to be able to help the Kids with Cancer Foundation. All right, I think that's it. I wanted to just remind you guys, the best thing you guys can do to help me out is, if there's a festival near you in the States or anywhere in the world that you reckon we'd be great at, please just reach out to them on Facebook or by email or whatever, and let them know that there's this crazy screaming Hammond organ player from Australia who wants to play, and send them some links, and that would just be unreal. There's nothing sort of means more, I think, than word of mouth. Even in this crazy digital age, that's I can contact these festivals, and if they haven't heard of me, it doesn't really mean much. If they've heard of me, it's different. And the slowly more people have heard of me, and got some great festivals lining up, which I can't wait to tell you about soon. So hopefully, you never know, I might be in the area, but please reach out to them. That would be unreal. And I'll be back next week for some more Lockie Dolly madness and news, and I can tell you about the gigs and what's coming up. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really means the world to me, and stay cool. Bye.